You are now tuned in to the Windy City Benders podcast. This is WCBP.
All right, it's another edition of the Windy City Bender podcast. We are back after a nice little extended 4th of July vacation. And did we miss some shit?
I mean, we didn't miss it. We just haven't talked about it yet.
Yeah.
Because we were paying attention, and we've been chatting about it, and just haven't been able to record.
It's like the second, it's like the universe knew, like, okay, we're not going to be able to record, so boom, news, boom, news, boom, news.
It's the worst timing.
But, yeah, so as usual, it is Tanner and Jarom here. Yes, so I think we should just probably get into it because we got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, let's pop that Hawks talk going.
All right, a little Hawks talk. You want to do the Nolly or no?
No. Just like clip some like Nolly thing and put it in.
All right. So the very first thing that is on our list is some big news. Lot of Hawks flavor in this year's Hall of Fame class. Marian Hossa, first ballot, gets in. I know we were talking. We knew he should have been in. We knew it. All that. We were a little nervous that his individual awards or lack thereof might have keep him out from being a first ballot. But he got in. Were you surprised at all by that, or?
I was a little bit surprised on first ballot, but I knew he was going to make it to the Hall of Fame eventually. But I'm really happy about it, especially like when you go online and you have people talking about like who should make it, and a lot of people are just like, Hossa's not going to make it. He's not a Hall of Famer. Like, he doesn't have enough individual hardware, which, like, yeah, I mean, you can kind of agree, but he's a great player, and like individual awards don't always make people like that much better. I don't know, like it depends. If it's a scoring award, like, yeah, clearly, like, you're really fucking good.
Yeah.
But if it's something like a leadership award, it's like, yeah, maybe you have a leadership award, but you're not like that great. Like, you're a good leader, but I could just be fucking talking on my ass right now. So
No. One thing that I was seeing a lot online too was kind of bugging me a bit was that they were saying that he didn't deserve it right away because he was just a cup chaser, going from Detroit to Pittsburgh to Chicago kind of thing. But I mean, I don't think it was that way at all. I think he just was only getting the contracts he wanted type of thing.
Yeah.
And
well, like, one of the things too was he went to Detroit first. No, right?
Yeah,
no, he went to Pittsburgh first. That's what it was. He was traded to Pittsburgh, and then he signed in Detroit because they had just won. Yeah, because Detroit beat Pittsburgh, and then Pittsburgh beat Detroit.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I fucking wish I could go back to that because that was amazing to have, like, the same finals happen 2 years in a row and just have it, like, flip-flop.
Oh, yeah.
But it was one of the things, I don't know if maybe he was asking too much from Pittsburgh or what that was. I don't know what the deal was there, but I know with Detroit, I don't know how they only got like a 1-year deal for him. But when it came up, I believe it was between him and like Johan Franzen. They were like, well, yeah, we'll keep Franzen. It's like,
yeah.
What? Like, what are you fucking talking about?
I still remember when they got announced that we signed him, and I was like, yes. And I was like, oh no, we're going to go to the Cup this year and lose. And lo and behold, we go to the Cup, but we finally won. But I mean, that's absolutely insane, going to 3 straight Stanley Cup finals with 3 different teams. Like, yeah, that's fucking insane.
It's crazy. Like, I mean, what was it? Was it James Neal almost did it?
Yeah, James Neal, I think. Well, I don't know.
With Nashville and then Vegas. Like, the most recently. Like, he could have done it a third time, but he didn't do too well in Calgary.
Okay, but yeah, you were pulling up like a really cool stat about Hossa with what was it, the Olympics or All-Star?
Yeah, so I was just like checking out his stats, and like everybody knows that it's not just NHL stats that get you in to like the Hockey Hall of Fame. Like Tretiak's in the Hockey Hall of Fame. He never played a game in the NHL.
So if you didn't know that, now you know.
Yeah.
It's the Hockey Hall of Fame, not the NHL Hall of Fame.
Exactly. It may be in Canada, but it's the Hockey Hall of Fame.
Yes.
But one of the things I thought that was really awesome was like looking at his Olympic stats, and like Slovakia, like they're not like the greatest of teams, but I mean they did have Hossa, they had Gabrick, they had Chara, but Hossa's fucking like Olympic stats are he played 19 games. He had 14 goals, 14 assists for 28 points. Also had 14 penalty minutes and plus 14. So I don't know what the deal is with the 14s, but that was like that's kind of fucking interesting. And then he was also shooting 20% in the Olympics. On like the biggest stage, he was scoring a goal every 5 shots. Like,
that is absolutely insane. He was so goddamn good. I'm joking. He still is so damn good.
Oh, I'm sure he can fucking play still. It's just the allergic reaction he is having. Like his last season, he put up 45 points in 73 games. He had 26. He had 26 goals in his last season, and was like, I can't do this because of the medicine he's taking could like end up just like ruining him, and it just sucks. But what a fucking player, man.
It sucks. Yeah, it sucks the way his career had to end. But you know what? I'm so damn happy for him that he was able to get into the Hall right away. And I just can't wait for his contract to be up so he could come back to Chicago and do something, because I think they've already pretty much said that whenever he's ready and he's able to, he'll have a role with the team, which
I mean, I'm hoping that they put his number up in the rafters.
Yeah, that was one thing we were kind of talking about when the Hall of Fame, I don't know if it was before it got announced or after, but again, we are so damn spoiled as a fan base for the last 10 years. Like the amount of players, what do we say? 8 or 9 guys, you could make a realistic argument that they deserve to have their number retired and put in the rafters.
I don't know, 8 or 9, but like 5 or 6.
But still, it's absolutely
crazy.
Insane.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like the amount of just Olympians that we had too, like throughout those good years. It's fucking crazy. It's like Havlat died for Hossa. That's what happened. Like, as much as that sucks, like,
sorry, Nolly.
Yeah, right. Like, it's crazy that like during the like middle of the 2000s, there was 3 very similar players, and it was Havlat, Heatley, and Hossa. And they all pretty much got traded for each other at one point or another, which was absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, I know for sure.
But by the end of like their careers, like Hossa was clearly like the best, and I'm so glad we made that move and acquired him for whatever that deal was, like 13 years or something.
Yeah, Did you question it at all, them bringing Hossa in and not re-sign Havlat?
I loved Havlat too. I was kind of upset that we couldn't have both of them.
Yeah.
But like I was watching Hossa like go crazy in the playoffs and just like the regular season with Pittsburgh and Detroit, and I was just like, oh my fucking god, he's so good. Like the year before we won the cup, we just got bounced out by Detroit, and so we had them in the Western Conference Finals. Yeah, and we played against fucking like Hossa and Detroit, and I'm just watching, just like, he's so fucking good. And it was so unfair. Him and Datsuk, are you shitting me? It's crazy. And then like one of my favorite things too is like they started showing like some Hossa highlights like all over, like the internet after he gets inducted in the Hall of Fame. And it's like, and one is just him picking Datsuk's pocket after Datsuk picks his pocket, but then he goes down and scores or some shit like that. And you're like, that's crazy. He's so fucking good.
Wasn't it Datsuk Hossa like the 1-2 punch for them in the shootout for Detroit?
I don't think Hossa was really used in the shootout because he's not a shootout guy. We used him in the shootout because he would just go down, come across the fucking top of the circle and clap it. Which is all-time move by him. He's like, I'm not gonna fuck around on breakaways. I'm just gonna fucking slap shot this shit. Oh man, he was so good.
Yeah, so great for Hossa. So happy for him. But we had another Chicago Blackhawk inductee,
absolutely,
Doug Wilson, who we were talking about before we started recording, does not get talked about nearly enough for what he's actually done for this. Yeah. We were talking about it. He is the Chicago Blackhawks all-time leader among defensemen in goals with 225, assists with 554, and points with 779.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking impressive.
How is he not talked about more? Like, holy
I don't know.
crap.
Plus, he won a Norris with the Hawks too. And he was a 3-time All-Star while he was in the Hawks as well. And like he's not brought up in like any conversations about like all-time great Blackhawks.
Do you think it's because people are still salty that he did that offer sheet to Hjalmarsson after 2010? Like maybe they're just like,
and then they were like, oh, we're gonna keep Hjalmarsson. You can take Niemi.
Yeah.
And we all know how that worked out for him.
But oh my God! So he was drafted 6th overall in 1977.
Yeah. Oh, let's see who's in that draft.
He was also drafted 5th overall in 1977 in the WHA draft.
In that draft, I don't know anybody from this. It's literally the first overall pick was Dale McCourt to the Detroit Red Wings, and then Barry Beck to the Rockies in Colorado Rockies. Robert Picard to the Washington
Mike
Capitals.
Bossy, 15th overall.
Oh no shit. Wow. Yeah, I can't believe he played only 752 games and 1,126 points. Just bringing that up. That's insane.
Yeah, he definitely needs to be in that conversation for top players, I think, if he didn't get hurt, but at least goal scorer.
Absolutely. Like he could have kept if he would have kept playing, he could have probably easily scored more goals than Gretzky.
Oh my God. It was like what, his back, right?
I think so.
Yeah, something with his back, but
he only played until he was 30.
That's insane.
And he put up 38 goals in 63 games in his 30th when he turned 30.
Okay, so we're talking about Bossy, by the way.
Yeah. Sorry, we just got sidetracked.
Yeah.
Looking at Bossy's stats.
So as a 2018, he holds or shares the following NHL records: most consecutive 50-plus goal seasons with 9, most 50-plus goal seasons not necessarily consecutive 9, tied with Gretzky; most 60-plus goal seasons not necessarily consecutive 5, tied with Gretzky; highest goals per game average. With .762 per game. Most power play goals in one playoff season, 9. Most consecutive hat tricks, 3. Like, holy shit, that guy was on.
He had 3 games in a row.
Looks like it.
Oh no! He had at least two games in a row, 3 times. Okay.
Oh, okay.
That's fucking great. Jesus Christ! And he his shooting percentage for his career was 21%.
Jesus.
So just like I was talking about Hossa, he scored once every 5 shots.
Holy crap. That guy, that's a shame, man. He could have definitely have been Ovechkin chasing Bossy, not a Gretzky, but.
Yeah, true. Mike Bossy, though, is a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. So, yeah, Doug.
So we got some other Hall of Famers that are inducted if you want to talk about them, too.
Yeah, I had the list here.
Jarom McGinley got in.
Jarom McGinley, first ballot. I always
maybe one of the best players to never win a cup.
Yeah, definitely.
Depending on Joe Thornton.
Yeah, we'll see with him. Yeah, if Joe Thornton doesn't get it, it'll definitely be Joe Thornton.
Dude, funny thing today, I was playing NHL, just like franchise mode, and Thornton finally retired at the age of 45, the same year as Kane and Brad Marchand. And I was like, what the fuck? It's like, that's insane.
Have you seen the memes going around where it's like, how long these players have actually been playing hockey? And it's like Chara from the first NHL game he was in to now, and like Yager. Yeah. Like
Yager's is just where he's like little pixels.
Yeah. Like
it's because everybody's like, oh, this is how long like Vince Carter's been in, because that's when he retired is when they started. It's like, this is the video games since Vince Carter's been in. And it's like, yo, dude, fucking, this is the video game since Yager's been in the league. And it's like, well, he's technically still in the video game right now, too. It's just insane.
Kevin Lowe also inducted.
Yes.
That one, I think, was a lot of question marks about.
Yeah.
Doug Wilson, Kim St. Pierre, who I think is the first ever female goalie inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame.
Oh, really?
I think I saw that.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, Kevin Lowe, his stats are he's another defenseman, just like Doug Wilson, but he won the cup 6 times, which I don't think that's all him.
Yeah,
he was on a stacked fucking team.
What was he? Messier, Gretzky, right?
Yeah, and then he only put up 431 points in 1,254 games.
See, that one bothers me too, because then it's like you're looking at guys like Alfredson, Alexander McGinney, Theo Fleury, all those guys. I think probably deserved it more than Lowe did.
Yeah, I'm not too impressed with that. It doesn't cool. Like, you played on a stacked team.
Yeah.
What was it? There was a quote about Taylor Hall talking to older guys that played in the NHL, and they're like, "Yeah, I put up 40 goals a season." It's like, oh, that's really cool that you put up the 6th goal in a fucking 8-1 blowout while you're on Edmonton. It's like, fucking who cares, man?
Oh man. Oh, and the last one was Ken Holland, who got inducted in the builder category.
Oh, nice.
So that is the 2020 class.
I'm trying to think of who's eligible for next year. I know it's the Sedins are eligible.
Shane Doan, maybe?
Shane Doan, I can see that. Yeah.
Or is he already?
No, he's not in.
No, I know. Was he already eligible?
Is he already eligible? I do not know. He could have been. Isn't it 3 years out?
Yeah.
So his last season was 2017. So he might have been eligible this year. Probably one of the better players to stay on one team his whole career, I would say.
All right, here is an early look at the 2021 Hall of Fame candidates. You got both Sedins, Zetterberg.
Zetterberg's a good one.
Rick Nash. Those are new ones.
Oh, okay. And then everybody else that's been eligible.
Yeah. Oh, Shane Doan might be one more year for Shane Doan, because didn't he retire? He retired in 18.
Did he not officially retire that? He might. Yeah, we'll see.
Shane Doan. Oh yeah, great.
Jesus.
Great podcasting right here. We're looking all
absolutely.
We're going.
He played 21 years for the same organization. That's fun.
And he would have played at least another 2, I think, if the Coyotes didn't screw him over.
Oh yeah, if they wanted him to play.
Yeah, but so there's the Hall of Fame. So we had some of that great news with Hossa and Doug Wilson, and then we got some news that I think everybody knew was going to probably happen with everything going on in the world right now. And it's been talked about before, so of course it's going to get brought up again. Yeah. But the debate about if the Blackhawks should change their name and logo has come back up. It comes on the heels of the Washington Redskins and the Cleveland Indians announcing that they're going to take a look into whether they need to be making any changes with Washington. I mean, come on.
Your name in Washington is literally a racial slur.
God, there's an Onion article about it. They post every time that Redskins come up, and they're like, the Washington football team decides to finally change their name, and it's a quote. Now that we're the DC Redskins, we're hoping that puts away all the confusion.
That's fucking perfect.
But yesterday, the Hawks actually came out with a statement. They were really quiet with everything going on. So they put out a statement. I'll just read it real quick. The Chicago Blackhawks name and logo symbolizes an important and historic person, Black Hawk of Illinois, Sac and Fox Nation. Those leadership and life has inspired generations of Native Americans, veterans, and the public. We celebrate Blackhawks' legacy by offering ongoing examples of Native American culture, traditions, and contribution, providing a platform for genuine dialogue with local and Native American groups national Native American groups. As the team's popularity grew over the past decade, so did that platform and our work with these important organizations. We recognize that there is a fine line between respect and disrespect, and we commend other teams in their willingness to engage in that conversation. Moving forward, we are committed to raising the bar even higher to expand awareness of Black Hawk and the important contribution of all Native American people. We continue to serve as stewards of our name and identity, and we will do so with a commitment to evolve. Our endeavors in this area have been sincere and multifaceted, and and the path forward will draw on that experience to grow as an organization and expand our efforts. Ugh,
Way
sorry.
to go.
I thought that was awesome. I think they said exactly what they needed to say, and no questions remain like where their mindset is and how they feel they represent the name and the logo.
Yeah, I mean, we said it before on the podcast that like the Native American communities like represented at like conventions and at games, and like the Hawks try and keep like strong ties with them to like show that they're not just like using the name just to use the name, you know, like they're bringing awareness and like helping out the communities as well. I don't see it being the same as the Indians or the Redskins.
And a lot of people are bringing up to the fact that the American Indian Center of Chicago no longer has a working relationship with the Blackhawks Foundation. They're taking that as the proof that, they don't like it. They don't believe in this. But
right.
That one's a weird situation because, I mean, yeah, obviously there's going to be members of the Native American community that I think do find this stuff offensive and all that. And the reason why that partnership ended was because one of those people became in charge of that, I don't know, is it institution or chair, like foundation or whatever the AIC is.
Yeah. I mean, when you think about it, really your logo and name shouldn't really be offending anybody. So it's probably going to be just an issue, like whether it's a bigger issue or a smaller issue, it's still going to probably just be like an issue in the future unless they completely change it to something else.
It's like I'm looking at the logo. Not like I need to look at it to see what it is, but like when I look at it, I don't think of what I would saw with like the Cleveland Indians like old logo, like that red cartoon.
What is it, like Chief Wahoo or something?
Yeah, Chief Wahoo. It's like I don't see anything offensive with this. I don't feel like it's cartoonish at all. It's not. I don't think it's like playing on any stereotypes. Like, I mean, maybe it's just me being too close to it, you know, growing up, cheering for this team, absolutely loving the logo, you know, having stuff like what part of it tattooed on me because, you know, I love it so much. Yeah. Like,
yeah, we both kind of do.
Yeah. I'm like, it's like, I don't think, and it's like, I've heard enough stories from people of that community that love it, that they feel like it's a great representation of them. It shows that like they're powerful, they're badass, and like I've read stories on Reddit about people that are up in Canada. There are Native Americans that have this logo, and
they're not Native Americans in Canada.
Sorry, you know what I mean?
No, I actually love that.
Sorry.
No, but
sorry.
Yeah,
but I mean, like I was reading an article, it was Canadian, like natives. And they had the logo of the Hawks, and underneath it just says Indian Power. Like people,
it was something like either like Native Pride or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it's like, but it's like these people see it as a good thing.
Yeah.
It's like you're not gonna, especially now in the woke world, you're not
Cancel
going
culture
to.
And
Yeah, it's like you're not going to be happy. And I think the most frustrating thing is that majority of the people that are offended by this are people that it doesn't affect.
Yeah.
It's like if I heard multiple people, multiple natives come up and saying like, "Oh no, this isn't work." Okay, let's have that conversation now. But you got the 20-year-old like white kids, suburbs, you know, kind of thing, like trying to like disrupt the system and all that.
Yeah,
and that to me is like where the issue is personally.
Yeah, the people being offended about things for other people is very odd for me in some cases. Like, I mean, if somebody's being blatantly racist and it's not against you, but like you're like, yeah, dude, like that's offensive. Like that's understandable.
Yeah, yeah.
But smaller things, I don't know. I had somebody one time when I was at work, when I was bartending, you know, way back in the day when we were able to do that. And this fucking white lady, like, looked at the tattoo on my arm, which is literally the 4 feathers of the Hawks logo. And she just goes, "Have you ever been to a Native American reservation?" And before I can say, yes, I have, she just goes, because that's cultural appropriation. And I was just like, first of all, it's feathers. Second of all, I have been to a Native American reservation. And third, it's part of the Blackhawks logo. So the fuck do you want to drink, bitch? Like, what the fuck is this shit?
God, that's absolute worst. Like all the people that are just like culture appropriation. It's like, come on, like I can't take it seriously, and I think that actually ruins like the cause more. You know, like I feel like the people that are truly offended by it are gonna get so washed out because everybody is gonna get sick of hearing the people that are trying to be insulted for others. You know, and it's like people are gonna take it seriously.
Getting sick of hearing the people in the back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like.
It's like, who fucking invited those guys?
Right, like
I don't know.
Do you think
I'm happy with what they've said, and if they're truly like serious and they're gonna go forth with even more exposure of like the community and like helping them out even more, I think it'll earn a lot more respect, especially from those that it actually affects and not those that are just offended for others.
Yeah, I think in the long run, it's all about what they think and not what everybody else, you know. So, I guess that do you think they'll eventually give in and decide to change it?
At some point, probably. I think so. I like it now, but I mean, like I said before, like your logo really shouldn't be offensive to anybody, especially like a community that you're trying to represent.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Like, I know you can't please everybody with everything anyway. So that's kind of another reason where it's like I can go both ways about it, you know? Like I'm sure there's plenty of people that like look at the Predators logo and they're like, dude, what the fuck? Like, change your name. Like, why would you be the Predators? Like,
I saw somebody posting that. They're like, so is PETA gonna get angry at like the Penguins, the Predator, like all these?
You're appropriating the Penguin culture.
Yeah,
you've seen them. They don't wear skates or carry a hockey stick. So would you fucking change it?
Damned if you do, damned if
Christ.
you don't, basically.
Yeah, like everybody's gonna be offended by something at some point, and like I said, though, you know, the Hawks are much different because they're actually helping out those communities versus like the Washington Redskins. I don't know if I've ever heard them doing anything about like a Native American community.
I mean, none
especially
of the
like their name is blatantly racist.
That's like that right there. That's like a plain and simple cut case right there. Yeah, that's got to change. Cleveland Indians, they changed their logo. They got rid of that.
Yeah.
So, Indians, you probably need to take a look at if the Indian name can stay or not. The Braves, I know, said something that they're not changing their name, but they're looking into because they do the tomahawk chop and all the games. They're talking about getting rid of that. Which
maybe
also
maybe you can change the logo just a bit and even just keep the Braves name or something.
Yeah. But so if the Atlanta Braves are getting rid of the tomahawk chop, does Tommy Hawk get a new name?
I don't know.
Like, is that pushing it a little bit?
Is that offensive?
Yeah, I don't know, but I mean,
it's also, what about the secondary logo then with the cross tomahawks?
Oh, they better not, because I literally do have that tattooed on me
from the good old days. It's gonna eventually be that I'll have to change that, and then you're gonna just look like you have a Confederate flag on your arm instead. It's like, quit changing my culture. Like,
oh no,
it's tradition. Like, fucking bullshit.
God damn it, no.
Well,
I better hurry up and
this is where we've gotten now. Fucking talking about this.
I better hurry up and finish this half sleeve while it's still okay to have all the shit on me.
Oh, that's so good. Yeah, dude, it was better days. Better days.
Oh God.
Christ.
And the fact that that's actual conversation with people with the Confederate flag blows my mind. Anywho, we're not touching that one. Yeah, we're not touching that one. I'll let you take this next little topic here. Blackhawks steal a prospect from the Flyers.
Yeah, boy. It's 2017, 7th round, 196th overall. Everybody get hyped. It's Wyatt Kalynuk. He's the left-handed defenseman from the Wisconsin Badgers. And even though he may be a late-round draft pick, he actually can be a pretty decent prospect, which is fantastic. Because guess what? You know who else was a 7th-round draft pick?
Kubalik.
Dominic Kubalik, exactly. And sometimes those late-round draft picks just need a little bit more time to grow, and it's going to be something beautiful. But I'm really excited because sure, there's a logjam at defense already, but if you're giving yourself more options and you're creating more of a competitive atmosphere within that, and like who wants it more? Because like nothing's guaranteed for anybody.
Yeah.
And it's good because like we have some strong right-handed defensive prospects right now in Boqvist and Mitchell. I think Bowden is left-handed.
Pulling up the roster right now.
Yeah, but so Kalynuk has been, like I said, he's an offensive defenseman, and he's been basically the power play quarterback for the Wisconsin Badgers. And what was it you said that he scored like 27 points like all 3 years at least, or at least 27 points?
That was you. Yeah, you had his stats up.
I don't know. One of the I have up right now that I'll just mention though, he was in 2017-2018, he was on the NCAA All-Rookie team. In 2018-2019, he was NCAA second team All-Star. And then this past year, he was NCAA first team All-Star, and then he also had the NCAA Sportsmanship Award, which is pretty cool shit.
He's doing something right.
Yeah, right? And so
Bowden's a left-handed shot.
Bowden's left-handed. What about Lucas Carlson? I think, is he left-handed? All right. So that's really good.
Ali Mata's left-handed. But I don't know how
Ali Mata's not really a prospect, though.
But, like, do you figure – if you figure him into, like, the future of the back end?
No. He's $4 million for at his, like, where he's playing where he was playing currently was third pairing defenseman with Slater Cuckoo. And you don't want to pay $4 million to a third pairing defenseman. Especially with the cap not going up. So, and I know it's been mentioned a lot of times online of people saying if they get compliance buyouts, that he should probably be bought out just so you can save that money. So with the stats, Kalynuk, he put up 25 points his first 2 years at Wisconsin, and then he put up 28 this past year. Could be pretty fucking good. Like,
did you say that they're kind of comparing him to a Nick Leddy? Yes,
that's the other thing too. And the only Nick Leddy downfall was his jersey wasn't tight enough in 2014.
Too soon.
Pulled the trigger so fast on that trade after that loss. Oh my god. Except for he didn't. It took like all the way until like preseason for that trade to happen.
I would love to get him on the show and just be like, hey, when that happened, did you just know you're done? Like that was it. That was your last game in the Hawks jersey.
Did you just walk away from the rink and know that it's never gonna happen again?
Bring all your stuff with you and just
grab everything. Just loot the locker room. Oh man.
Yeah. So
it should be. I'm pretty excited. I mean,
Flyer fans are pissed that we signed him, so that makes me happy, pissing off Flyers fans. So
that's a good sign if another team is mad that they couldn't get their prospect to sign an ELC with them. And like I was saying, like having more like defensive prospects is great because where are we lacking? Defense.
Yeah.
Like the more the merrier, sure. Like, and then the other cool thing about it too, it's a free asset.
Yeah.
Like we didn't give up anything. We didn't like draft him. So we didn't use like a draft position. We didn't trade for him. We just signed him to an ELC. And
it'll probably be between, I mean, it won't be the full like 925.
Oh no.
No, I don't think so. I think I'd be surprised if he gets a full.
We'll see.
But yeah, we'll see.
I mean,
but think about it though: Mitchell, Boqvist, Bowden, Carlson, Gilbert.
Yeah.
That Alec Regula
Yeah.
can be something. Chad Chris. Many guys.
The Slava Demon kid that we got too. We're just loading up on defense, which is really funny because I feel like that's what we traded away so much during those playoff years.
Yeah.
Was we got rid of a lot of prospect D, and I mean that worked out fine, but until now, like
I am still upset about the Yokiharu one though.
I'm not.
You're not?
No, I've never been upset about it. Like Buffalo he's not gonna thrive in Buffalo. Nobody is. Nobody fucking thrives there. Like Jack Eichel does well because Jack Eichel's a fucking franchise player, but
he's out of there soon. I guarantee it.
Oh, dude! If they don't make the playoffs in like 2 years, he's gonna fucking demand a trade.
They are coming on to like Ottawa Senators like shit show level with like their management and like ownership group there. It's insane.
It's weird to me to like watch the rest of the NHL, like the teams that constantly like make moves and play and compete, and then you see teams like Ottawa and Buffalo, and you're just like, are you like all you have to do is just like pay attention to like what another team is doing. Like what are they doing differently than you? I don't know. Not stupid shit. I guess if you're doing stupid shit, you're probably a stupid person, so that's why you're just stuck doing stupid shit the whole time. Dude, but whatever. I'm no fucking NHL GM.
Buffalo has no money, but they also have a shit ton coming off the books after the season, whenever that might be. So last thing that we have on the docket for Hawks Talk is a very random, like I did not expect to hear this though. Seabrook is going to attempt to play in the qualifying round.
Hell yeah, bro.
Okay, I thought he wasn't going to be good until like August, like I guess, but
dude, Bionic Seabrook.
I just said that out loud, and then I realized that we're in July, and the season would start back up on August 1st. So I take back
big brain moment right there, bud.
Yeah, there we go. God damn, this took everything from me. I'm so confused now.
It's every time. Okay, so I mean, when we talk about Seabrook, talk about his contract, whatever. It's not his fault.
Yeah,
clearly. Boom.
We're over that.
He has clearly been playing with nagging injuries for who knows how long. But my favorite thing is like one of the last times before he got hurt when I was at the Hawks game, and fucking literally a guy around our section is just like, "Boo, Seabrook, boo, you suck." And I was like, what the fuck are you like telling him he sucks? Like, he doesn't suck. His contract sucks. And guess who fucking signed it to him? Like, our GM. It's not his fault. And so this guy just kept booing Seabrook. And then anytime Seabrook touched the puck, I was like, fuck yeah, Seabrook. Fuck yeah. And going crazy. And everyone around me starts laughing because they're like, this is hilarious. And then Seabrook gets a fucking assist that game. And then the guy was like, I looked at the guy, I was like, sit down and shut the fuck up. It's like, yeah, that's right, boy. Plus, all right, Seabrook, what's going to be great? The leadership aspect that he's going to bring back to the team.
always go right back to 2010? No, what year was it that Taves, he calmed Taves down?
2015.
2015.
2013 against Detroit.
Yes. And right there, that right there is a huge asset that I think that team is definitely missing. Yeah, we got the leadership of Keith and
the players have all said that he's the vocal leader. He's the guy that everybody looks to. Like fucking Boquist was living in his basement or whatever. Like he's literally the team dad. He is the guy. He is everyone's role model, and they're all in the NHL.
Yeah, that says something, especially when you got look at it. When you got Taves as your actual captain, who is known as probably one of the best captains in the NHL.
Yeah,
and then people are saying, no, Seabs is like the real vocal guy. Like he's like our guy. Like that's unreal.
And you kind of can tell like how much it sucks that they've missed him too during the season. Like very inconsistent team throughout the whole time he's been hurt. And sorry, I had to burp. Great timing. But like it's gonna be good. I think if he's able to play. And like that's the other thing too. Colleton's not gonna just play him because he's like, I want to play. That's the good thing about him. He knows that he deserves a spot on the team, but he's not going to hurt the team just because Seabrook says he wants to play. Right. If he can't physically compete at that time, he's not going to fucking play. So.
Yeah, and like we were talking about, like in our group text, like what if it like he goes through all these surgeries and boom, he's like, I don't think 2010 Seabs is going to be realistic, but like he's back to, you know, consistently playing the way we know he could play. Like what earned him this contract that everybody hates.
Right. Maybe he doesn't gain a step, but maybe he's just moving a little bit better, you know? Like I don't know if that really makes sense. Like he doesn't really gain speed, but like he is able to turn as much as he wants and like position himself much better. Like I don't know, maybe because it was his hips and his knees, right? Like what if he's not able to body against a guy like in front of the net as well because he's got nagging injuries? Like what if that's secure now? And like now he's a fucking big guy. Like they're not gonna move him.
Yeah.
And then it just I also love like he's always been so clutch. Like it's insane. He's scored some of the biggest goals in the playoffs for us. And he's a proven playoff guy too. And even though he's a little bit on the older side now, maybe a step back, but I'm sure can fucking turn it on in the playoffs. Like,
oh yeah.
If it's do or die, like, and you can give it your fucking all, I'm sure he's going to do it.
It's going to be a good test too, to kind of see. Cause like you said, he's not old. He's not young anymore. He is 34 years old. Not who knows how much longer he actually has. So it'll be interesting. Jokingly, we said too, which we'll use as a nice little transition, that maybe they're going to have him play because they know he's really not that great in shape still. And it's going to give us that extra edge to, you know, maybe lose to Edmonton. And why? Why would we want to lose to Edmonton? Because what do we miss NHL Talk? The goddamn draft lottery chaos.
Yes.
This was
yes.
amazing. This is everything that we have wanted for the NHL. It got everybody talking about them. Essentially, the way it was put down was the first draft lottery. All the 8 teams that missed the playoff had like normal percentages, whatever. Then the placeholder had the normal percentages for the other teams that missed it.
Which is what I want to – it's also weird that they put, like, team placeholders. Because I guess just because you could get a top 3 – they could have been more than one placeholder.
Yeah.
But I was just like for the math, like, there was a 24.5% chance that a placeholder team was going to be in the top 3.
Yeah.
Or for the first pick. That's actually what it was. Like, when I was, like, adding them up, and I was like, okay, so they have a better chance than – all the other teams that were actually in the lottery. Like the placeholder as a group had a better chance at a first overall pick, which is what happened.
Yeah. So basically, if you didn't see it and you've been living on a rock for the last 2 weeks or so,
week and a half, 2 weeks.
Yeah, week and a half, 2 weeks. Basically Detroit, who had a historically bad, like absolutely terrible. You could totally tell you knew what they were doing this year.
They weren't tanking. They're just that bad. They have terrible contracts.
Okay, but they dropped from the best odds at number 1 to number 4. And the second when I heard Detroit at number 4, I was in tears. I was laughing so hard because you know what? We might not be direct rivals with them anymore, but fuck Detroit. Let's go Hogs. I was so goddamn happy. I was goddamn giddy. Ottawa, who realistically had the best shot at first overall because they had 2 picks, have the 3rd and 5th pick. Anaheim with the 6, New Jersey with 7, Buffalo with 8, and LA with number 2, and then to be determined at number 1.
This was somewhat chaos because I've told you about how it could have been maximum chaos. Maximum chaos would have been 3 placeholders in the top 3.
God.
But this is my favorite thing that could have happened that didn't happen. And I hope a lot of people don't really know this because it was kind of more of like, if you're a New York Rangers fan, you kind of knew about this. But if I love this so much, sorry. If there was 2 placeholder teams in the top 3, and one of them was for the first overall pick, there was a possible chance that the New York Rangers could go on to win the Stanley Cup as well as first overall in the NHL draft. And to explain how that happens is because the Rangers traded Brady Shea to the Carolina Hurricanes around the trade deadline for a first overall pick. And so there wasn't a specific one. It was the higher of the 2 that Carolina had between their own pick and the pick that they got from the Maple Leafs in the Marleau trade to buy out Marleau. So it's like, okay, well, that doesn't make sense. Like, if they get the later of the pick, like, then they can't get first overall. Here's the thing. If clearly the Rangers would have to beat Carolina in the play-in round for Carolina to be part of the draft lottery, and also for the Rangers to go on and win the Stanley Cup. But if Columbus also beat the Maple Leafs and the Leafs were also in the draft lottery, this is where it gets more interesting, or it could have been, because then you need the draft lottery to have the first overall pick go to Carolina, and then whatever of the other 2 of the other top 3 pick go to the Maple Leafs. And what you would think is like, oh, the Rangers get the Maple Leafs pick because it's a later pick. But no, because the Maple Leafs are fucking smart. They said, well, our pick, even though we're a pretty good team, is top 10 protected. So you would get next year's pick instead. Therefore, would leave Carolina with their only fucking pick, and it would go to the Rangers, and the Rangers would fucking have first overall. And I wanted that to happen so badly. So fucking badly. Because how amazing would that be?
Oh, my God.
Jesus, like, I love the fact that
tell this story was so much better than reading those texts.
I fucking wanted it to happen so bad. And the other funny thing too is, like, my friends took us out to dinner during the draft lottery, and I was like, fuck. So I put it on my phone at the restaurant and just had my phone onto the side, and they were all telling stories, and then I'm like, Detroit at number 4. I was like, fucking, they're like, are you okay? I was like, yeah, I'm just fine. And then it's like, it shows like Ottawa at 3, and then it's like, okay, top 2, it's like LA and placeholder, and then it shows placeholder at 1, and I was like, oh my fucking God. And they're like, what? Like, we're telling a story, and they're like, you're being rude. I was like, okay, well, we don't know who got the first overall pick right now, so fuck that.
Yeah. You're being rude for not experiencing this excitement that I am right now. Get on my level. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm so, like, I feel like the Hawks are in a win-win situation. They beat Edmonton. They got, I think they have a fairly good shot to do some damage in the playoffs.
Feels good.
I don't think they're going to win the Stanley Cup. So that's, I'm kind of like, okay, well, if we lose, we have a 12.5% chance of getting that first overall pick. Yeah. And you're possibly trading 1 cup for another 3,
And I mean, the other thing you look at too is last time we chose 3rd overall, we got a center in Jonathan Toews, and then the next year we had 1st overall and a superstar right wing, or just winger, I guess, in Patrick Kane. What happened this past season? We had 3rd overall and got a center in Kirby Dach, and then this upcoming draft, we could get 1st overall and a superstar winger.
Who is being compared to
Patrick Kane.
I've heard other comparison that he is almost as good. He's got like the smarts of Crosby with more skill than Jonathan Toews.
That's pretty sick.
Like, then have
dude.
So then you have that, and then actual Jonathan Toews, and then Kirby Dach.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. Let's go.
Yeah. It's your future literally is Kirby Dach, Lafreniere, DeBrincat, and then Nylander, Strome, Kubalik for a little bit. Like, Jesus Christ.
You're essentially seeing the new core. You'll be seeing like the rebirth of 2010 all over again.
Crazy. And like the funny thing is, like, I have this like really odd, weird, good feeling that we would end up with first overall should we be in the lottery. It's like, and it's gonna piss off so many people.
Oh God.
Especially Detroit fans, because they keep getting bounced back in the lottery and we keep getting moved up.
Here is what I'm gonna say. Like, you know what? I'm not sorry for you, Detroit fans. I've heard this is a good deep draft. You know, there's some solid pits in there. The last time a team was as bad as Detroit was, that didn't get the first overall pick, was Colorado. They got bumped to 4th overall. Who did they get that year? Makar.
Yeah.
Makar. I think Colorado's happy with that pick.
Yeah. Also, they did shitty that season too with McKinnon, Duchesne, and Landeskog. And how the fuck do you do that?
Didn't they have like only 45 points or something like that?
Yeah, I think it was 48.
Ugh. And now look at them.
Yeah.
Jesus. So I'm not saying go Oilers, but
the other thing the other thing I'm thinking about too is, like, let's say we show up to the play-in round and maybe Kubalik and Strome don't do so hot, and you're like, oh man, it's time to talk contracts. And
there's a lot.
I don't know if you can show up in these big games and maybe they like don't have to sign for like super big, and then we also get first overall. Like, I don't know.
So where would the Hawks? So say the Hawks don't get the where do they fall? Do you know? It's like the 9th or 10th pick.
9th pick.
They would beat out. No, would it be 10? Would Montreal be 9?
Oh fuck, I don't know. Yeah, maybe it's 10.
Yeah, because Montreal's the 24th.
I keep thinking it's 9 for some reason.
Yeah, I think 10, but I don't know. So
I was gonna say, like, other than the Hawks, who would you want to see with the first overall pick?
Montreal, I think, would be like, just because it's the kid.
That makes the most sense.
It would be like the hometown type of thing.
Yeah, Montreal also like they are just. It sucks that they're like wasting Carey Price. It's so good.
Like everybody else, though, it's like
Columbus, Arizona. I think those would be good too.
You said, I mean, Taylor Hall is on Arizona.
That's true. Yeah, that's the one thing that worries me about getting the first overall pick is if Arizona also is in the running for it.
Chicago, obvious number 1. Then I'd probably say
or fucking the Rangers, man. Oh my god! It would be their own pick if they lose to Carolina. Like, I wouldn't be able to imagine fucking Panarin and then Lafreniere as their 1-2 on the left side.
Oh, I don't even want to think about that. That's not even.
That's fucking crazy. Yeah, man, I'm excited.
So then that's the second.
Be sure to tune in to draft part 2.
Yeah, the phase 2 draft
lottery part 2.
I think they said it's going to be in October once all the qualifying rounds are done.
The draft lottery?
Yeah, the second draft lottery.
I have it written down. It's between the play-in and the first round. So whenever the play-in round is over, they would do the second draft lottery.
Yeah, I think so I think that's going to be October. Or no, September, sorry. October would be the actual draft. I think they were saying.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Whenever the playoffs are completely over.
Yeah. So, I guess that's a good way to transition. The NHL and the NHLPA came to a tentative agreement on the return to play. Not only return to play plans, but also an updated CBA. The CBA would be extended to the 2025-2026 season. So we will not have a lockout as a lot of people were thinking there was going to be. We'll get to that in a second. The return to play stuff, some key dates. I believe as right now, it opened up the voting to the players for the vote to see if they're going to agree to it. That goes until the 10th, which is Friday, I believe. Yeah, Friday.
The return to play?
Yeah, so the return to play vote.
Okay.
So they'll know by Friday if the players approve it or not. And if they do, training camps will start on Monday the 13th. Those will go for 13 days, and they will go then on the 26th. They will be traveling to their hub city. Games will start taking place August 1st.
Fuck yes.
TV schedule for this sounds absolutely goddamn amazing.
It's a fucking dream.
So basically, too, real quick, the hub cities. I don't know. Is it been officially announced?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Toronto and
Edmonton, and Toronto. Thank God there's a 2-hour delay, time zone delay in those, or difference in those, because they are essentially doing games at 12, 4, and 8 in each location. So it's local time too. So it's like 11 o'clock. Then it will be
so Central Time. It's 11 o'clock, and then 2 p.m. and then 3 o'clock.
3.
3
Basically, yeah.
Oh my God.
Basically, you're gonna be
time zones are hard.
You're gonna have hockey on TV from 11 o'clock in the morning Chicago time till probably like midnight Chicago time.
Because the last game starts at 10.
Let's
Central.
go.
So it would be first game on the East would be 11, and then 3, and then 7, right? 11, 3, 7.
Yeah.
And then on the West Coast, it would be 2 p.m.
So 12 p.m.
5 p.m.
12 p.m., 4 p.m., 8 p.m. Eastern time. Is what's listed.
But I thought it was local times, right?
Yeah. Teams are likely to be playing 2 games every 3 days to start. No traveling.
Struggling so hard with time zones right now.
Yeah.
Fucking 2, 6, and 10. There we go.
There we go. Yeah. But, oh my God, so much hockey on the TV.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I was working from home and I can watch all of it.
Lucky me.
Yeah. Yeah, so opt-out rules. Any player can opt out to the return to play this summer for any reason and suffer no penalty. It isn't completely,
that's before the 13th.
I believe so, yeah. It isn't completely clear if a player who's opt-out for reasons other than medical would be eligible to receive their share of the playoff pool. The playoff bonus pool was bumped up from $16 million to $32 million this year. So for players who lose the best of 5 qualifying round, they receive $20,000. And the rate goes up as high as $240,000 per player on the Stanley Cup winning team.
Always that incentive to keep playing.
Yeah, so that is for there. I'm curious to see if they're gonna have a number of confirmed cases that might cause them to say stop it.
I know that they can stop a game whenever they want to over that concern, or they can stop the playoffs whenever they want to over that concern.
Yeah, NHL and NHLPA both have the rights to call the postseason and just say it's not going to happen. I'm just glad that it's like kind of there's more answers out there. I'm still a little iffy on it because my main concern is future seasons. At this rate, they're saying that the draft would be October, free agency would be November, and that means the start of the season would be December, January. So next season's going to have to be a shortened season as well.
Mm-hmm. I thought they were going to still try and do all the games.
That's another thing too. Like, are they going to try to fit 82 games, and then is that going to affect 2 seasons?
Well, they're not going to try and. I thought that what they were doing was that they're going to still try and do 82 games, and it's not like they're going to try and fit it in the same time frame. It's going to end at like a decent time, not like beginning of April. It would take until June, July, and then each year after that season, they start the season like. I thought it was. It might have been like speculation, but they start the season 2 weeks earlier each time until it gets reset back to like what it normally is.
So basically, starting it would be a shorter off season until it's back to
by like a 2 week shorter off season.
Gotcha.
Each time until it's back to like the normal
that's
second week of October.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean. That's because it's like they gotta figure that out because it's like kind of thing. That's the one thing my whole concern about the return to play too is obviously safety, but at the same time it's like, well, how are you going to have your normal schedule with all this? Yeah. But that makes probably the most sense on earth.
The other thing too is like, let's say that the playoffs don't happen at all, and like you're not able to start the season on time still because of all of like the coronavirus things. Like,
I think it'd be easier to start the season up late if they don't finish this upcoming season.
Yeah.
Like I could see them being able to start in November and then do like the lockdown type schedule where it's like you maybe throw in an extra game per week to
Yeah,
kind
but
of
like, are they gonna do like put players in a bubble for regular season games and just be like, well, we're just stuck here for 6 months? Like,
yeah. Oh, that's a great question. I don't know. I don't think players would do that. There's no way.
no, I don't think they would agree to that at all.
Like
that's one of the things that like part of the agree to play in is they are, it's just players and personnel. Each team gets to bring like 53 like personnel and players.
Yeah.
And then after, I think once you're in the conference finals and the Stanley Cup finals, that's when families can actually join the players.
Right.
They're only allowed to leave the bubble for birth of a child or death of a family member. And then if they do, when they come back, they have to quarantine.
For 2 weeks, the 2 week.
They're not allowed to go anywhere besides their room but they can, except for they can go to like the spa area or the gym.
Yeah, each team can get
like
their own
team meals, maybe. I don't know.
Each team gets their own level
floor.
of the hotel, floor, but they're not allowed in each other's rooms.
Which, how are you going to police that? I don't understand. I don't know. It seems intense. But the other thing is, like, I'm pretty glad that they're doing it in Canada because Canada as a whole has had less coronavirus cases than Chicago itself.
They're taking it extremely serious up there.
Wish we would.
Yeah. But also reading a couple more in the key date section. The phase 2 of the draft lottery would take place August 10th. So,
phase 2 would take. Oh yeah, because that's when the play-in round should be over, right?
Yeah, and then they're saying that
they're saying that for sure.
That's what would take place August 10th, and this is assuming all the dates hit that 13th.
But I thought they said that the play-in games would start on the 1st.
I mean, they're best of 5.
Right, but wouldn't you play every other day, or because you're playing 6 games a day?
I mean, it's like 2 weeks.
Yeah, wait. They only scheduled 6 games a day for how many? For 8 matchups.
And they're saying they're going to play. Yeah, they'll probably play 2 games every 3 days.
They're just betting on some teams to get swept in the 5 game best of.
The draft would be after the Stanley Cup final, which they're anticipating would be the first week of October, and then free agency would start November 1st. This is gonna be so weird.
Yeah, I really like free agency is gonna suck for Taylor Hall.
Yeah, so I guess let's switch over to the CBA talk then a little bit. So the CBA came out; they had the tentative agreement to it. One of the big things on there is the salary cap. The salary cap and escrow. I'm not even gonna try to explain escrow because I don't fully get it. I'm an idiot. I'll just say it. I don't. But so basically,
it's not my type of thing to talk about.
So the salary cap upper limit is going to stay flat for 2021 at $81.5 million. It will stay there until hockey-related revenue returns to $4.8 billion. So if it hits the $4.8 billion quickly, the new upper limit will be calculated from actual hockey-related revenue from 2 seasons ago, plus the projected hockey-related revenue from the immediate prior season. Okay.
Let's get Jeff Bezos to give the NHL some revenue real quick.
That's like his
Amazon bought the
Trump
naming
chance.
rights, didn't they, for Seattle?
Yeah, there you go. That's another thing. Seattle, their arena has a name, but the goddamn team doesn't.
Yeah. They have 2 scoreboards for some reason.
Yeah, that makes 0 sense. So salary cap teams that were banking on the salary cap going up, Chicago, are going to be hurting for a little bit. They still are talking about potential compliance buyouts, but I heard the owners are against it.
It's the teams that have salary cap are going to be very rich with like mobility.
like for teams that need to get rid of players that have bad contracts. Like, I mean, typically like what we saw with Toronto and Carolina, like they were like, hey, can you buy out Patty Marleau? We'll give you a first round pick. And like that cost that during a time where the cap was still going up. So if you have any teams that are going to be like dropping players due to salary reasons, like there are going to have to be some juicy trades. Like
I kind of feel like it's going to be kind of like the first offseason after the lockout, that when the salary cap was introduced, and it was just kind of like you're seeing these teams that might not have gotten some of these star players are going to be getting some big names and stuff like that. It's kind of like it's going to
you
really
got to figure out who your real core is, and if it's like you just have like a superstar that's not really a part of your core, it's like, well, here's a shiny new Ilya Kovalchuk for you.
Yeah. And some other salary cap things happening with this new CBA. The league minimum is going to rise to from $700,000 to $750,000 next season, and will rise up to $775,000 by the 2024-2025 season, and then $800,000 for the 25-26 season. And then for the first time since 2005, NHL rookies will be able to earn slightly more on their entry-level contracts. Individual A bonus maximum is slated to increase from $850,000 to $1 million, which is cool, because I mean that kind of gives these guys incentive to sign with their teams and all that kind of stuff. Because I know a lot of these big players probably weren't signing because they're going to be making a big impact right away and not getting paid for it. Another cool thing too is the no trade and no movement clauses are going to be changing. Well, so basically, if you had a no movement clause that hasn't officially kicked in yet, when you were traded, the team that picked you up could cancel out that no trade clause. It happened with PK Subban when he got traded from Montreal to Nashville. So basically now if you have a no trade,
shitty thing.
It's so shitty. So if you have a no trade clause in your contract, no matter if it's kicked in or not, you will have that one. It's supposed to, your team cannot cancel that. It
stays on your contract.
Yes. Yeah.
No matter where your contract goes.
No European waivers anymore. So players who play in Europe will no longer require waivers to come back to the NHL. They're calling this the Ryan O'Reilly rule, because the Flames signed O'Reilly to an offer sheet in 2013 when he was holding out from Colorado in the KHL. So if the Avalanche didn't match that offer sheet, he would have had to pass through waivers before joining the Flames, which he would never have gotten to Calgary at that point. Yeah. So that's really brutal. And then I think the big selling point for I think a lot of the players is Olympic participation. With the CBA, they are allowed to participate in the 2022 games in Beijing and the 2026 games in Milan. But that is also pending negotiations with the IOC and the IIHF.
It's so upsetting that we didn't get like Olympic hockey NHLers like the past one.
Yeah.
And I did. Could have been so fucking. Yeah, I didn't watch it either. It could have been so fucking good. So fucking good. And I'm really glad that we're going to get it now. But, I mean, 2 years from now, like, you're going to have a completely different Crosby and McDavid on the same team.
Oh, God.
Like, that would have been insane.
Yeah. But there's also
especially in, like, a Kaner and a fucking Austin Matthews.
Oh.
Like, in 2018. Are you kidding me? It would have been so fucking good.
God.
Jack Eichel in there, too?
This also is paving the way for the World Cup of Hockey to come back in 2021.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Are they going to still do North America?
I hope so. That ended up being, like, the best part of it. Like, that was
McDavid and fucking Matthews on the same team was sick.
That was awesome.
Matthews before he even made it to the league.
Yeah, was
sick.
Was he drafted yet?
Yeah, he was just drafted.
Okay, yeah.
He was just drafted, and then it was, like, before preseason started, they did that World Cup of Hockey, and just, like, they highlighted Matthews so much on that.
Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, we've been kind of talking a while. Threw a lot out there. Yeah. Promise we will not go that long between episodes with all that news coming up. But
yeah, we just couldn't find the time. trying to get all together, and it's like, well, we got to do this. We got to get it out.
But yeah, so a lot of we talked about. Would love to hear what you guys think. What's your opinion on the Blackhawk name and logo situation? Draft chaos. Do you want to see the Hawks, lose, or do you want to see them go for the cup? Do you think the league should be even playing right now? And how do you think the new CBA is going to play out? As always, subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts. Follow us on Spotify. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Leave some comments on everything. Leave a review on Apple Podcasts. Helps us boost up that ranking list. Do you got anything else, Tanner?
Nah. It's like I can't think if there's anything else because
I know I'm like brain.
There was so much. I feel like I forgot something.
Yeah, I'm sure as soon as we stop recording and we'll remember. But
yeah.
All right, so for Tanner and Jarom, this has been episode. What was it, 104? I don't even know.
104.
104.
The what could be.
The what could be. I like that. All right. So we will catch you on the next one.
Hell yeah, boy. Love you, boys.